What's going on, everybody? John J. II here with the beeper. How's everyone doing today? It's a beautiful Wednesday. It was a little bit windy here in East Lansing today, but you would have had it mistaken for Chicago if you weren't from here. But listen, it was a great day. Tony, how you doing today, man?
Doing great, John. Doing great. You're right. Listen, I stepped outside of the dealership today. I thought I was going to get swept across M15 and hit by a Mack bus. It was that windy today. But other than that, doing great, man. Another typical Wednesday. Happy to be here, live in the studio. Let's just get after it.
Let's get after it. Had a great live stream with the one and only Chris Platty on Monday. Talked about the NBA All-Star Game, All-Star Weekend, the dunk contest, three-point contest, skills challenge, all of it, the whole nine. And it was a great stream. I was glad to have Chris on here. He'll be on here soon again. He wanted to get on here with Tone at some point, and he will. He'll get on here. He couldn't make it tonight, but he will be on here very soon, hopefully Sunday or next Monday. So we're looking forward to that. But yeah, other than that, a lot of big stuff on the docket for today. A couple things that you might have already known about. They're going through the social media waves all over the place on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They're all over the place. But this is just kind of a reiteration of all those and a couple new things too. So we'll touch on all of it and you'll hear it here first. So if you're tuning in, you're getting a first take on everything. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about Dak Prescott. So Tone, I know you're a big Cowboys guy. There were some talks about Dak possibly leaving and having the fans and all the players and everyone down there in Jerry's world, we're talking about possibly freeing up some salary cap, money just to kind of get maybe Dak out of there if they wanted, a fresh face in there, or if they wanted to kind of acquire some other players in different skill positions. But he is staying in Dallas. So how are we feeling about that, and what do you have to say about it?
So here's what I'm going to do really quick. Okay, I'm going to filibuster, for a minute, because I'm going to tag somebody in the comment section and see if I can get him to – how do I do this? How do I add someone in the comments, John?
You should have to put the @ sign.
And then their name?
And then their name. But sometimes Facebook's a little funky and it won't let you do that. But
do I put a space or do I not put a space?
In between their first and last name?
Yeah.
Yeah, you put a space.
Oh, see, he popped up for 2 seconds. Well, I'm going to try
down the wrong pipe.
I'm going to try this.
I'm good.
Oh,
boy.
Okay, hold on, guys.
Who are you tagging?
I'm filibustering. I'm tagging my cousin's husband, Sugar Shane. Okay, he's a bigger Cowboy fan than I am. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on, and then I'll give you my thoughts in 2 seconds.
People are waiting, Tony.
Okay, he's in. Now, I love it. I love the signing. I think we needed to sign him. To me, I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL when the bottom of his foot isn't pointing up at the ceiling. Okay, when he has a healthy ankle and he's ready to rock, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Okay, he can run, he can throw. To me, he's a true dual threat. Okay, up until he got hurt, last year he was leading the NFL in most passing statistics. To me, he's a leader. The guys rally around him. The city of Dallas rallies around him. To me, I think it would have been a huge disservice to the city of Dallas if Jerry would have just let him walk or franchise him again. If he would have franchise tagged him again, I want to say he would have had to pay him like $37.8 million. Okay, now I know he's having to, pay him a heck of a lot more. But Jerry came out with a press conference with a comment in a presser that says, if anyone's gonna, take advantage of me, when it comes to a monetary, when it comes to money, he hopes that it's going to be Dak Prescott. So obviously Jerry supports Dak. The whole organization supports Dak. And to me, I love the signing. Now, a lot of people are going to say you're dumping a bunch of money. The way to win now in the NFL is with a rookie quarterback, and you build around it. I get that. I do. But to me, there wasn't a guy in this draft outside of Trevor Lawrence, okay, that is a legitimate franchise guy off the rip. I'm not sold on Fields yet. I'm not sold on this Zach Wilson kid from BYU. The kid looks like he's 11, for God's sakes. I'm not sold on Mac Jones. Okay, he looks like he's way too much of a system guy. To me, Mac Jones, if he was as good as everyone's saying he is, he would have been playing sooner. So I'm just not sold on I guess, everyone says it's a deep quarterback class. I think it's Trevor Lawrence one, and then the rest of the field. So I love the signing. I love that Jerry is committing to Dak. I think you're going to see the best of Dak Prescott moving forward. And come on, Cowboys, Super Bowl next year. I'm hopeful, John. I'm hopeful.
So you're going to have some skeptics coming at you because people are going to say, oh, well, is there going to be higher expectations for Dak now since he faced a pretty drastically bad injury, right? That can't go without saying. But I guess, are the stakes higher for Dak now, or do you think that he's since he kind of signed on again, do you think that he's going to be able to let off the gas a little bit? How do you think his mindset is going to transition into, the season?
Okay, so here's kind of the I guess, I don't know if you want to say fortunate or unfortunate position that the Cowboys just put themselves in. Either Dak is going to perform very well, okay? He's going to perform like a top 5 quarterback, and the Cowboys hit, right? The Cowboys hit good on it. Or he's not going to perform the way that Jerry wanted him to. He's not going to perform the way that, Dallas wanted him to. And then Dallas is stuck with, this huge contract, which is a huge reason. I don't care what anybody else says, is a huge reason why Detroit held on to Matt Stafford for as long as they did, because of his contract. They had to somehow justify the contract that they gave Matt Stafford. I don't care what anybody wants to say. That's why they kept him as long as he did. And it's going to be the same for Dak Prescott. And a lot of people are comparing Dak Prescott to Matt Stafford when it comes to stats. A lot of them are garbage stats. A lot of them are late in games. None of them really contribute to wins. I don't buy it. I think for a very long time, the Cowboys, built this team around Zeke and that offensive line. They're going to be a run-first team, run first. But then I think they realized, hey, we can actually open up the playbook. We can actually get, creative with Dak Prescott, and he can win his football games, not only with his right arm, but with his feet when he's got two of them. Right now he's only got one of them, but when he's got two of them, he can win games with his feet. So I think there's going to be a higher level of pressure on Dak, to answer your question, John. But I think if anyone's built for it, I think Dak Prescott is absolutely built for it.
Well said. There's a lot of different theories kind of circulating the whole thing with Dak, right? So how is he going to perform? How well is he going to play coming off an injury? I guess, is he at full capacity right now, or is he still in recovery?
Not even close. I think he's still got like 4 or 5 months left to recover. I mean, it was it was about as gross of an injury as you can have. And you want to know the shitty part of the whole thing was, John knows this, my Dak Prescott jersey literally came in the mail that Sunday that he goes out and gets hurt. So I didn't know if he was going to come back. I don't know if we were going to tag him. I don't know if we were going to dump him. I didn't know what the plan was going to be for him. But Jerry obviously wants to commit to Dak. And to me, I think it's the right move.
Heard it here first, folks, from a real-life Cowboys fan. Okay? Listen, you heard it here first. Jim Bros. In light of quarterbacks in the NFL, let's talk about Russell Wilson for a second. So I did a gin and tonic on him probably a couple weeks ago. Just kind of talked about, where is his mind at? I know he's not super content over there in Seattle. Where, if anywhere, will he land if he decides to, get out of Dodge and play for another team? Where are some viable locations for him to land? So now this is gonna sound very unpopular, okay? But I think if this specific team could agree to trade quarterback for quarterback, you want to know who I think could win a Super Bowl immediately if they got Russell Wilson? Who's that?
The Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bill. I think if they trade quarterback for quarterback, they do a little, what that game you do at Christmas where you swap gifts. What's it called? White Elephant?
Yeah, White Elephant, Yankee swap, something like that.
Yankee swap. If they did a little Yankee swap and they did Josh Allen for Russell Wilson, I think the Bills win a Super Bowl immediately. Okay? Now, I don't know how realistic that is. I don't know. To me, it seems like the Bills have really invested around Josh Allen. But I think that could be huge if the teams decided to do that. Now, where do I think is I guess the most realistic option for him? Okay. I guess if John's gonna, put a gun to my head and say, hey, Tone, get out of La La Land and start being a little realistic, where do you think he's gonna go? Okay. I think, to me, if I'm Sean Payton and I'm in New Orleans, okay, bling, 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 bling. Hey, Pete Carroll, what do you want for him? What do you want for him? I think with Drew Brees, it looks like Drew Brees is on the outs, okay? It looks like he's not coming back. Now, there's a few workout videos of him. Listen, I ain't buying it. I don't think he's coming back. Even if Drew Brees did say he wanted to come back, if I'm Sean Payton, you have to look long-term, correct? You can't just look, short-term, because if you just plan for short-term, you're not going to win anything. So I think if you're Sean Payton, I think the best spot for him to land is New Orleans. I mean, what do you think?
I like New Orleans too. They're still hanging on to Drew Brees as far as I can see. Some locations that kind of come to mind: Indianapolis Colts. They're somewhat without a quarterback right now.
You're right. They do.
Phillip Rivers is gone. Also, the Texans, they're without Deshaun Watson now. So there's a couple places he can go. Whether or not, I guess, because it's got to be a mutual deal between Seattle and whatever team that he would go to, right? They got to come to a deal before. And it's not like Russell Wilson can just wave a magic wand and be like, all right, send me down to Houston.
Right.
And I'm gonna play down there now. Doesn't work like that. So it's going to depend on a lot of things. It's going to depend on, if the deal is sweet enough for Seattle and the GMs over there to, bite and take the bait. Then I think that they would flirt with the idea. But do they necessarily want to get rid of Russell Wilson? I think Russell wants to get out of there more than they want to get rid of him.
For sure.
But that's just kind of how it is. And, I guess time will tell on what's going to happen for that. We're less than a week away from free agency season. So there's going to be a lot that's going to come out of the woodwork, I think, here in the next week. That's going to be able to shed some light on the future for a lot of these players that are in limbo. We have a comment here from Shane Wilson. I love him coming back. He's talking about Dak Prescott. He is an amazing player and has the offensive line to hold them off of him this time. Hopefully, LOL.
I mean, look. So Sugar Shane. Okay, again, he is I guess my cousin-in-law. I guess that's the term to use. Enormous cow. I don't think this dude's missed a Cowboys game since he's been birthed. Okay, huge. And that's why I kind of want to get his input because he would really. I guess have more of an emotional response than I would, because listen, I'm a Cowboys fan. It's more business right now than it is emotional with me and the Cowboys. With Shane, it's purely emotional. So I'm glad to see another fellow Cowboy fan backing me up in the signing of Dak Prescott. I mean, to me, again, John, when he's healthy and he's wheeling and he's dealing and he's cashing checks, breaking necks, he's a top 5 guy in the NFL all day.
Definitely. Well said. So anything more on Russel Wilson? Anywhere you think that he could land specifically other than New Orleans? So
let me ask you this, John. Okay, so I always say if John put a gun to my head and I had to pick something, what if I put a gun to your head and you're Russell Wilson? Where would you want to go? I guess like what team is the team you would want to go to?
If I was Russell Wilson, what team would I want to go to?
Yep. Would you want to re-sign in Seattle, stay there, maybe get a little bit of a contract extension? Or would you want to say, you know what? They obviously cannot draft an offensive line for me. I've been run around, sacked more than any quarterback in the NFL. I want out. I want somewhere fresh.
I think that it's been pretty obvious that if I was Russell Wilson, having the same mentality that Russell Wilson has, that I don't want to stay in Seattle. I want to get out. So I'm looking at structural teams, kind of like I already said, where those slots are wide open for the quarterback position. Indianapolis, Houston, obviously. Trying to think of some other ones that are just wide open, put me in type of teams.
So here's a great question. So I think a great idea, again, I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but in my brain, it makes sense if you were to go quarterback for quarterback, Josh Allen for Russell Wilson. Okay, I think both teams would benefit. Seattle gets a young quarterback, who they can hold on to for a very long time. Buffalo gets that quarterback that's going to win them, or get it done for them right now. Okay, because I think Russell Wilson gets Buffalo over the hump of Kansas City. I do. Now, if you're Seattle, would you consider a quarterback for quarterback trade with Houston? Would you take on Deshaun Watson and in return give them Russell Wilson?
I mean, it's a possibility. If the deal's good enough, then I'm definitely willing to talk about it. It depends, it's got to be a valuable deal. It's got to be a spicy, it's got to be a saucy deal for both sides. Obviously there's got to be benefits. There's costs and benefits to each side of the deal. So if I see the benefits outweighing the costs and outweighing the detriments, then yeah, definitely. I think that they need a twist. They need to spice something up in Seattle. So I wouldn't shy away from getting rid of Russell Wilson, even though he's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. What I called him in my gin and tonic that I made about him last week, a couple weeks ago. Super Bowl caliber quarterback, can make it there, can win it. He's done it in the past. So he can do it, but he hasn't found his groove. He hasn't found his stride. I don't know if it's because of personnel changes or whatever, lack of chemistry, you name it. It could probably be anything. But I would just like to get some new faces in there and maybe put a new face in there at a quarterback position. And maybe I'm looking for a draft pick. Maybe I'm looking for a Justin Fields. Maybe I'm looking for a Mac Jones. I don't know. Those are options that you can kind of put out there. And if you put Russell Wilson out there for a trade, you could potentially get those draft picks to then do that. Then you got to further consider, what you have as far as the salary cap and all that goes. But that's something you deal with later on.
I mean, what I think has to happen first and foremost is I think Russell Wilson has to formally request a trade. I think once that gets out there and teams know, like, look, he's serious about getting out of here. He's serious about wanting out of here. Formally goes to GM, formally goes to Pete Carroll and say, hey, look, I'm getting the hell out of here. Okay. Then that's when I think you're going to start to see teams really start throwing the farm at Seattle, which they should, because Russell Wilson, since high school, since you and I were in high school, Russell Wilson has been, he's been phenomenal. So I think this storyline, some people are kind of brushing it off like it's not really a big deal. Okay, I think this storyline, give it a month, get a little bit closer to the draft. I think this storyline is huge because I don't think he's going to be in a Seahawks jersey come September at all. I really don't.
I don't think you will either. It's something that a lot of people they might expect. See, they don't expect franchise quarterbacks to leave,
right?
Just on a whim, especially if you don't hear much about it. It just kind of depends on how you're looking at the whole situation. We look at it a little deeper. Most people aren't looking at it that deep, so they're not really concerned about that. But you kind of think about the entire scheme of things. Think about the different statements Russell Wilson's made about the franchise, about his position as quarterback in Seattle. He's tired of getting hit. He doesn't, he's not agreeing with a lot of different coaches, different coaching styles. He's just not feeling it. It's not feeling like his team anymore. So he wants to get out, and that's a commonality that we've seen amongst not only quarterbacks but other players throughout the NFL to show some type of fire to get out of their franchise because they're still young, but they're not going to be young for long. They know that next thing they know, they're going to be, 40. And then if they're stuck in a franchise where they don't have that, extra Super Bowl win or at least a Super Bowl run that they may have wanted, they want to increase their chances of that every chance they get.
Absolutely.
So they're running out of time in their prime. So they want to be able to make the most of that.
Absolutely. No, but here's the thing, though. I mean, talk about a guy, I know, Tom Brady's a different story, but talk about a guy who just up and left his franchise. I mean, look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady said, look, enough's enough. If you're not going to put pieces around me, if you're not going to do this and do this and do that, then I'm walking. And he did. So I think a lot of quarterbacks, I think that's going to start a huge chain reaction for guys like Deshaun Watson, for guys like Russell Wilson, for those kind of guys to say, look, I know my worth. I know how talented and I know what I can bring to a franchise. If you're not going to start doing A, B, C, and D, then see ya. I'll go to a franchise who will. So, again, you talk about a guy like Tom Brady, the Billy Go to the mountain, okay? He's another guy also that's trailblazed this trend of, listen, this franchise has to be just as loyal to you as you are to it. And I think that's now why you're seeing guys like Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson saying, I'm out.
Exactly. Well said. Let's move on to some bigger and better things, though. We can beat a dead horse with Russell Wilson all day long. Bottom line is we're not going to know what his future is going to be until he decides that, until different personnel within the Seahawks franchise decide his fate. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully there's going to be some news on Russell Wilson coming up here in the next week as far as the free agency process. is concerned and how it progresses. So we'll look forward to that as it comes along. The Corona Challenge registration is now live. For everybody that hasn't seen the post yet, please navigate to our Facebook page or our website. There's a page back up on our website. It was up in October when we had the first Corona Challenge. It is back up and back live right now on our website. Also, the forums all over the place on Facebook. I shared it. Tony shared it. Everyone and their brother is starting to share it. So spots are filling up quick. We're getting people to start registering. There's a lot of people that have registered and showed major interest today since the forum just updated. There'll be intra-week updates and reminders for this as spots continue to stay open. But I'm anticipating that this tournament's going to fill up a lot quicker than the last one did as far as, time before the tournament actually comes. So obviously we had, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks.
Right.
But, now since we have more time, we're looking to have all these teams and all these players involved and registered and paid off before June even hits. So we'll see what happens. Tony, how are you feeling about the tournament? How are your emotions? Give me something.
I mean, I feel really good. Obviously, super excited to be able to, host our second annual Corona Challenge. Obviously, the granddaddy of them all, the most sought-after golf tournament in the area. We've got people throwing themselves at us trying to be a part of this. But listen, I'm going to tell you right now, we don't care if you're a buddy. We don't care if you're our friend. We will turn you away if we have to, okay? So register early. Get your team locked in so you're not having to be one of these teams, 3 days before the tournament wanting to get in because we're going to tell you no. We're just going to tell you no, all right? A lot of new faces are going to be in the challenge. There's going to be a lot of shooters, okay? A lot of people that could win this thing. I think there's a lot of question marks surrounding me and my team. I don't know if it's going to be Team Beeper and Team Sam this year. I don't know. That's up for debate. So a lot of question marks going into this tournament, but super, super excited to be able to bring this tournament back to Flushing for the second year. Obviously, we want this thing, to grow into a yearly thing, and you guys are able to make that happen. So thank you guys for the support. Again, it's a charity for the Flushing Christian Outreach Center. A large donation will be made to them. But it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a super fun day. The last one was an absolute riot. So we're looking for the same thing for this year's tournament.
Exactly. So I'm just going to share. I'm going to share the actual flyer here right now. So stay with me while I share this screen real quick.
Little screen sharing.
Little screen share action here on a Wednesday.
There it is.
So there it is. So the Corona Challenge, a charity golf outing benefiting the Flushing Christian Outreach Center. We'll be making a significant donation to the FCOC, and we expect anybody else to, that wants to make a separate donation to feel free to do that. June 19th, 2021, $80 a person, $160 per team. A little mental math right there for you. 18 holes, 2-man scramble format, similar to all Corona franchise events. As far as golf tournaments go, most, if not all of them, are 2-man scrambles. So just a little bit of food for thought there. Keep that in the memory bank. Cash prizes for first and second place. Those have not been determined yet. Closest to pin and longest drive challenges will be paid off as well. Registration starts at 7:30, tee off at 9:30. So we'll probably do a team meeting, little bit of a shindig on the putting green.
Ball busting.
Around
Ball busting too.
9:15. Yeah, ball busting all over the place. It's just going to be a mess. Flushing Valley Golf Club, Flushing, Michigan, our homestead, our home grounds, our stomping grounds. It's where we were grown up, and I worked there for a number of years, coming up as an adolescent/teenager. This includes coffee and donuts at registration, so get yourself a little coffee, maybe a couple donuts, put something in your stomach before you hit that first tee. 1 6-pack of domestic beer per player.
I know that's not right. Per team. That's per player.
You read that right. So everyone's going to get. So there's 2 players in a team. Each player in that team will get a 6-pack of domestic beer of their choice at the turn, at the beginning, whatever you want. So that's kind of a perk of this year, since there was no keg last year. There was nothing as far as drink wise. I think we got a couple drink tickets, but the people were up in arms about it because there was no icing on the cake. But listen,
which they should have been.
They should have been. We understand that. There was some people that dropped the ball on that shouldn't have. So they spoke and we listened. So we're giving you the 6-pack of domestic beer per player. And obviously the beer car girl will be out and about. So if you want to get a little mixy, here and there, a couple fireball shots, loosen up the nerves a little bit, you can do that.
So
got a hot dog.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So I feel really bad, and I don't know if we caught this in the Corona Challenge video, but I felt horrible for the cart girl in the last tournament because, guys, I shit you not, it was probably what, John? Probably 37, 38 degrees. At the first Corona Challenge tournament, and this poor girl's driving around, absolutely freezing her ass off. And but she was busy. She probably made a ton of money that day. She's gonna make a lot more today, but she's at least not gonna have to wear 14 layers of clothing and a parka, for this tournament. So, Cart Girl, this date was determined for you, so we want you to take that into consideration.
Exactly. Yeah. So the beer cart girl, show her some love and buy some drinks from her, give her some tips. That's automatic. A little bit difficult when you're playing late October. I understand that. So hopefully the nice weather will change the tune. I got a couple of drinks. I think I bought, 3-4 drinks off of her when she was working. So I did my part. Now we expect you to do your part. So where was I at? So yeah, lunch of the turn. So a little hot dog, little chip, a little bit of, Mountain Dew, whatever you want. Comes at the turn, and then dinner afterwards. It's going to be a burger bar. So it's going to be buffet style. Hopefully COVID's all done with, so we can kind of get rolling on that. And yeah, it's just going to be a blast of a day. We're still looking into doing raffles and doing maybe 50-50, maybe doing definitely going to do skins. Did skins last year. That'll be a $20 per team pot, which will be distributed at the end of everything when we're chowing down on our burgers. But yeah, it's gonna be a day full of fun. So get your partner, get dialed in, get fired up about it. You still got 3 months to go, a little more than 3 months to go. So get fired up about it, get jacked about it.
Start doing push-ups.
We want you to be there. We want you to be there.
Absolutely.
So if you're listening to this, you're watching this, chances are if you're watching this live stream, it's not that old. So get right onto that registration link. Follow that form on our Gin Pros page on Facebook, or navigate to our website, whatever you got to do. And then you can stay updated via our link tree. So that's linktr.ee/GinPros. You can find that. Find all of our stuff on there, YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, you name it. It's on there. And just do that. Let us know if you need the link emailed to you. We can send it to you. It'll take 2 seconds. But yeah, figure it out. Find a way. The spots are filling up quick, but we want everybody to get involved that can. But do it sooner than later, because chances are if you wait, like I'm feeling like even if you wait until like mid-April, late April,
you're done.
You're not looking like you're going to have a spot.
Right.
Because like I bet these spots are filling up quick. And I've already seen all the responses that I've seen on the forum already from people showing interest in this thing. So it's gonna be a big deal. And we're excited for it. Having it back in Flushing. So
well, I mean, look, so the defending champs, are Mickey and Dom. Okay, those two played absolutely out of their minds. I wonder if Dom still has the mullet, because he had the mullet last October. Wonder if the mullet's going to be out and getting some fresh air on the 19th. But a lot of good golfers last tournament. A lot of love from the people down in East Lansing. Hopefully we can get those East Lansing guys back. Because we want to have a lot of the same mix of what we had the first one. We just want to add some more of the teams that couldn't be a part of it just because it's such a short notice. It's going to be a great day. Now listen, if you suck at golf, okay, excluding myself. If you suck at golf, excluding myself, because I'm horrible at golf. But if you suck at it, don't show up. Listen, this is a big boy tournament. Okay, this is a big boy tournament. Listen, and if you do suck, you don't have a chance at winning. You just flat out don't have a chance. So bring your A game, because anything less than your A game isn't going to be good enough. Okay, start getting the swings in now. Start doing your push-ups. Start doing your sit-ups. Start doing the calisthenics right now. Get loose and limber. Okay, the driving ranges are now starting to open up. There's no excuses. There's absolutely no excuses, this time. So, guys, we cannot wait to see you guys on the 19th. It's going to be an absolute hell of a day.
Hell of a day. We're looking forward to it. Need any more information, send us a DM, email, whatever you got to do. we'll get that information to you. But like I said, it's all on our Facebook page, folks. It's everywhere. We're posting it like crazy, putting it on our Facebook stories, which I didn't even know existed until like a week ago. And we're just making it happen. We're putting the word out. We're doing everything we can to get it out there. We might even get in touch again with the Flushing View and maybe put it out to the FCOC themselves, since this is an event to benefit them. We will be putting, the word out to them to have them advertise it however they want to. So look forward to it. You're going to be seeing a lot more of the Corona Challenge in the future on your social media feeds. So keep an eye out for it and get registered. Moving on, another event we have going on. Registration also just opened for this. The International Federation of Beard Eye Grand Tournament, scheduled for April 17th, 2021. This is more or less the pregame for the Corona Challenge. So it kind of gets your mind right, gets your mind into somewhat of a competitive mindset, which you're going to need to have. Doesn't matter if you're playing the Beard Eye Tournament or you're playing the Corona Challenge, or you're playing in neither. Just having a competitive mindset and having a will to win will set you aside compared to the competition. Doesn't matter what you're doing, playing tiddlywinks, you're playing Chinese checkers. Trust me, you're going to want that competitive edge.
What is tiddlywinks? I mean, do we even know what that is?
It's something Paulie used to say all the time when I was a kid. And I think I Googled it one time, but I got lost in the sauce, and I just had to close all the tabs. And just
start fresh.
I need a refresh. I was mind blown. But yeah, the Beard Eye Tournament. So yesterday, I'll tell you a little bit something that I did, and maybe there's people that will watch this at some point. So I rode around my moped, had a bunch of flyers, and I stopped by to multiple houses, fraternities, co-ops, all kinds of places and dwellings in East Lansing. And I handed out the flyers. I talked to the people. I got in touch with, the local community, the Michigan State community. And I stopped by at places that were playing Beard Eye already. Yesterday it was like 65 degrees. So I'm like, I bet people are playing some dye, So sure enough, they were. And there's no better way to get around East Lansing than on a moped. Let me tell you that. So I did that, and I did a lot of outreach, talked to a lot of the people, got in touch, got quite a few Snapchats. And listen, there's a lot of people in the East Lansing community that are very, very amped about this event. They never had anything like it. They're like, wow, Beard Eye Tournament? That's crazy. I've never heard of anything like that. So, having that be a part of the East Lansing fabric, I think, is very important in and of itself. But being, at the forefront of putting events on like this, especially amidst the COVID-19 crisis, I think really sets us apart from the competition to not only putting on events, but pleasing the community and doing things for the community, both in East Lansing and in Flushing. So I think we're outdoing ourselves a little bit.
So really quick, so the Beard Eye Tournament is going to be a little bit of a different pace, I would imagine than the Corona Challenge. So the Beard Eye Tournament is going to be huge. Okay, so how we're structuring it is we're structuring it as if it is March Madness. I know it's in April, but we're planning it as if it's March Madness. 64 teams battling it out, grinding it out, getting gritty, getting grimy. It's going to be an absolute blast. So it's going to come down, 64 all the way down to the final four. There will be regional titles that will be handed out, and there will be obviously a champion at the end. It's going to be electric. There's going to be content all day on, from the different regions, and then all the way down to the national championship game. It's going to be huge. The state of Michigan, I don't even know if the country has ever seen anything this big. The spots are already filling up. So if you are a current or Michigan State graduate, sign up. I'm not going to be playing. I'm going to be doing commentary. I'm going to be on the content side of things. I will not be participating. But if you are a current or Michigan State graduate, you are more than welcome to be a part of this. Obviously, that's 99% of the people we know. So they've already reached out and wanted to be a part of it. So John's got that flyer out. We've been blasting that left and right as well. So kicking off 2021 already with two big events. We've got about 6 to 8 more planned. So we're going to be busy, man. We're going to be busy this year.
We're going to be busy. I'm super excited, though. I think the events are really what set Gin Pros aside from, different groups that might just have a podcast or we make, vlogs or whatever they do. We are very multifaceted. We're a multi-complex organization, a conglomerate, some might say. So listen, okay, we got it under control. This isn't our first rodeo. Last year, first Corona Challenge, that was our first rodeo.
That was literally
we absolutely killed that. The only hiccup that we had was on, and I'm not even going to get into it,
but on the other side of things,
the venue side. Okay. Listen, we're not going to get into details, but the people know, and we know. That's really all that matters. We know. So
but no, that's a great point.
This isn't our first rodeo. We've done this before. We've done this a million times.
The Corona Challenge was literally our first rodeo, our first big rodeo. And listen, we showed up there. We showed up there on bull. We showed up there on horseback, and we absolutely dominated the whole thing. So, we kind of found our groove. We know how to run events now, so that's why we're planning a lot more. So super pumped about our first two events of the 2020 year.
Exactly. So get registered as soon as you can. If you know somebody in the area, get them registered. That flyer is flying around all over the place. So if you don't know what beer dye is, you're going to have to, check yourself before you wreck yourself. So just go to YouTube and type in how to play beer dye. There's a great video on there. I actually sent it to Schweeman today. How to play beer dye. Okay. It's a new sport. It's not really something that's very revolutionized outside of the college community. I'll be honest with that. It's not like cornhole where you can go up north and play with your buddies in tournaments all over the place. They're showing tournaments on ESPN. It's not like that yet. It will be. And we're going to be at the forefront of it. So just keep your mind and eyes open. We're going to have your head spinning before you know it.
Right.
Let's move on before we get lost in the sauce. So Big Ten tournament kicks off tonight. I know there's a couple gin picks out there. For the game. I think Minnesota's playing tonight. Minnesota and Nebraska. Is that right?
Minnesota Northwestern.
Minnesota Northwestern, and then Nebraska and Rutgers. I'm all over the place. I got to figure this out. I was just looking at the lines earlier.
So I picked Minnesota. So I'm really hoping Minnesota's winning right now.
I picked Minnesota money line. They're up 3 right now with a minute left. And Nebraska and Penn State play tonight at 9. So that's in 30 minutes that they play.
I think you took Penn State in that one, didn't you?
I did take Penn State money line. I think they were -6, but I took a money line just because they got a solid team, but Nebraska is not a stranger to surprises. So listen, I just want to take a money line, kind of take out the middleman, but you never really know with these middle tier Big Ten teams because they can come out and play lights out one night. The next night they're shit in the bed. So never really know. Especially there's a lot more on the line right now with the Big Ten tournament going on. Yes. So everyone's fighting for spots. Some people don't even have spots. They really don't have anything to lose anyway. Their record, they're like 6-20. You're not even worried about a playoff spot.
They're so bad. So obviously Michigan State gets the first round bye. They're playing the Maryland Turtles, which I'm now going to start calling Maryland the Turtles. I will no longer, and I refuse to call them the Terrapins because that just makes absolutely no sense to me. Your mascot is literally a turtle, not a terrapin. So you're the Maryland Turtles. So Michigan State kicks off against the Maryland Turtles. I think tomorrow is when Michigan State plays. So look for Michigan State to get a big dub in that. I think if Michigan State wins that game, they're an automatic for sure lock. As of right now, Joe Lunardi has them, I think, an 11 seed playing Oregon, a 6 seed in the first round, which is kind of ironic because Oregon's, one of Oregon's guards is Jalen Terry, a Flint Beecher kid that Tom Izzo missed on. He decommitted from Michigan State and is now at Oregon. So look for that storyline to kind of play a role if that is, how the regions match up and it is Michigan State, Oregon. But anyways, look for Michigan State to avenge a loss that they had late in the season to the Maryland Turtles. They played horrible. I think the game started off 12-0 Turtles. And Michigan State just could not quite. I mean, come on, they're the Turtles. So it was 12-0 Turtles off the rip, and Michigan State just could not quite come back in that game. We even watched that game with Manton's dad, and Manton's dad was throwing money. We were throwing money. There was a whole bunch of money being thrown, and none of us won. Not a single one of us won that day. So hopefully Michigan State gets the win on Thursday to absolutely solidify themselves in the tournament. If not, I still think they'll win, but I think it's a little kind of shaky. But listen, go green.
Go white, baby. So we also should touch on this. If we do beat Maryland, who do we have?
The scumbags in Ann Arbor.
Damn, round 3. It's like the rubber match.
It is.
How is it going to pan out? Nobody really knows. I think Maryland's a must-win just to see that game again, just to see those two teams clash again. Because you see the stakes are so much higher now. Chances are, obviously, if State beats Maryland in the game 1, they're looking pretty good for the big dance. But that doesn't take anything away from the rivalry. If anything, that's going to make Michigan play harder.
Right.
And I hope Michigan State doesn't feel like they can let off the gas because they still have tons to prove in both their offense and their defense side. We still don't know who their point guard is. So a lot to figure out, a lot to anticipate, a lot to look forward to. I'm really excited about it, man.
I mean, could you imagine Michigan State beating Michigan again in the Big Ten tournament? I mean, that would silence the entire Michigan fan base. They wouldn't even know what to do.
They would be lost for words. Simple.
They would have no idea what to do. So, listen, exciting Big Ten tournament. I'm excited to see, how some of the teams. I'm excited to see a team like Ohio State, who's lost some games as of late, but they've lost some tough games, man. They haven't lost any easy games. I think a lot of people forget how hard it is to win a game in the Big Ten. So I'm excited to see teams like Ohio State, Illinois, obviously Michigan State, see how they're going to perform. And then we got Selection Sunday, and I'm sure John and I are going to be covering it Selection Sunday better than ESPN ever could. So look for us next Sunday is Selection Sunday. So look for us then. Listen, this is the kickoff to March Madness, John. Come on now.
It is. So I'm very excited. This is like the pregame to the big dance. It's a middle school dance, okay? Not to be undermined, not anywhere near the big dance, but
right.
It comes before it, and it is necessary for every team in every conference to take part in this and to also perform well, because it's a very good, it's a very good precursor on how you're going to play in the tournament based on how you do and perform in your own conference tournament. So
I mean, call it what it is. If you went to the middle school dance as a kid and you were the first boy to bridge the gap between the boys' side and the girls' side, listen, going into high school, every single girl in the entire universe wanted to go to prom with you, okay? So that's what this is. If Michigan State's going to be that team to bridge the gap between the boys' side and the girls' side, then come tournament time, listen, they're in the driver's seat. They're driving. They're the ones leading the pack come tournament time. So listen, the middle school dance is essential for the growth of a team come high school. That just is what it is. So, again, super excited, man. Hopefully Minnesota, fingers crossed, holds on so I can, gain some ground, in the gin picks. Obviously, I hope Penn State loses by 1 billion tonight. I hope it's the most lopsided game in the history of college basketball. But no, we'll see what happens tonight, man.
Did pretty good on NHL games last night. You picked a lot of teams. I think you went 5-2.
I did, yep.
So you got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, look, man, I feel good. So there was a little bit of stretch where I kind of fell behind, and I kind of let that slide into some other picks. So I just kind of went back to the basics. I went back to the drawing board, went back to what we know, and I had a good day yesterday. So hopefully that I went all college basketball today, and I went heavy on college basketball today. So hopefully that kind of catapults me back into the above 500 column, and we will see what happens moving forward.
I'm wishing you the best of luck. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of the live stream. We're almost at 50 minutes here, so if you stuck around with us the whole time, props off.
You're a trooper.
Hats off to you. Very, very much so. You're a trooper. You're a true Gin Pros sibling. We appreciate you. Thank you. Tony, you got anything left for the people before I let them loose?
Listen, register. Get a part of the events before it's too late. Thank you everybody who's watched the gin and tonic so far of mine on Tuesday. John Jay's dropping one tomorrow. Live streams. I mean, listen, Reversal. I mean, Gin Gaming. I mean, I could go on and on about what we got going on. You guys know that. All of our stuff's in our link tree. So click on that stuff. You can find absolutely everything. Thank you for everyone who tuned in tonight and who's going to tune in later on. Hit the share button. Get this to as many people as possible. Other than that, man, that's all I got for it. Remember, guys, always bet with gin. Come on now.
Thanks, Stone. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm John Jay II. You guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you with my gin and tonic tomorrow. See you guys.